Think of strolling down a busy city street, enveloped in the sights and sounds of modern life. The aroma of coffee mingles with the exhaust fumes, and the steady rhythm of footsteps blends with the hum of traffic. It's a scene we all know well, a snapshot of our daily existence in the 21st century. But beneath this seemingly ordinary facade lies a truth many prefer to ignore, a truth whispering of darkness and despair, of exploitation and suffering. Hidden within society's fabric, in the shadows cast by skyscrapers and storefronts, lurks the resurgence of slavery in a new form. Gone are the chains and auctions of old. Now victims are ensnared by debt, threats, and false promises. It's a reality hard to confront, a truth tough to swallow. Yet today we embark on a journey to challenge perceptions, stir emotions, and awaken consciences. Together, we'll peel back the layers of illusion shrouding this modern-day plague. We'll shine a light into its darkest corners, illuminating the stories of those ensnared. And as we delve deeper, we'll confront the uncomfortable truth. Slavery isn't just history, it's a pressing issue affecting millions today. Let's delve into this journey, a quest to confront uncomfortable truths and demand a better future for all humanity. Think of a world where your every move, every click, every swipe is meticulously tracked and monetized. A world where your data is not just a commodity, but the very currency of the digital age. This is the world we find ourselves in. A world where tech giants like Facebook and Apple rake in billions by harvesting and selling our personal information to the highest bidder. But how exactly does this modern-day digital slavery work? To understand this, let's take a closer look at the inner workings of the data economy. You see, companies like Modmobile operate on a simple principle. They leverage our data to turn a profit. Take Candy Crush, for example. Every time you spend an hour playing the game, companies like Modmobile know that they can earn around $1 from your engagement. Armed with this knowledge, they approach companies and offer to deliver users to their apps or platforms in exchange for a cut of the profits. Say, 10 cents for every hour of user engagement. But why don't tech giants like Facebook or Apple pay users directly for their data? The answer lies in their business model. These companies have built their empires on the addictive nature of social media and digital platforms. They've perfected the art of dopamine-driven engagement, hooking users into endless scrolling and tapping. As long as they can keep us coming back for more, there's no incentive for them to change their ways. And that's where Modmobile comes in. By disrupting the status quo, they're challenging the dominance of tech giants and offering users a fairer deal. Instead of exploiting our data for their own gain, they're empowering us to take control of our digital lives. Through initiatives like the Earnphone, they're envisioning a future where users are rewarded for their data, not exploited for it. But the fight against digital slavery is far from over. As long as companies continue to profit from our personal information, we'll remain at risk of exploitation and manipulation. That's why it's essential for us to stand up and demand change. Whether it's through regulatory action or grassroots movements, we must hold tech giants accountable for their actions and push for a more ethical and transparent data economy. In the end, the choice is ours. We can continue to be passive bystanders in the face of digital exploitation, or we can take a stand and reclaim our digital sovereignty. The path ahead may be fraught with challenges, but with courage and determination, we can build a brighter future for generations to come. It's time to break the chains of digital slavery and usher in a new era of empowerment and freedom. To truly understand the gravity of the situation, let's delve deeper into the mechanisms of digital exploitation. At the heart of this system lies the concept of surveillance capitalism, a term coined by scholar Shoshana Zuboff to describe the commodification of personal data for profit. In the digital age, our every online action leaves behind a trail of data. What we search for, what we buy, who we interact with. This data is harvested by tech companies and used to create detailed profiles of our preferences, habits, and behaviors. These profiles are then sold to advertisers, who use them to target us with personalized ads and content. Whether it's a Facebook ad for the latest smartphone or a recommendation on Netflix, every piece of content we encounter online is carefully tailored to appeal to our individual tastes and desires. And the more data these companies collect, the more accurate their predictions become, creating a feedback loop of surveillance and manipulation. But the consequences of surveillance capitalism extend far beyond targeted advertising. Our personal data is also used to influence our decisions, shape our beliefs, and even manipulate our emotions. Through techniques like A/B testing and algorithmic optimization, tech companies can nudge us towards certain behaviors or outcomes without us even realizing it. Whether it's encouraging us to spend more time on a particular app or persuading us to buy a product we don't need, these subtle forms of manipulation can have profound effects on our lives. Take the example of social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram. By harnessing the power of social validation, these platforms create a constant stream of likes, comments, and shares designed to keep us hooked. Every notification triggers a hit of dopamine, reinforcing our addiction to the platform and driving us to seek out more engagement. And the more time we spend scrolling through our feeds, the more data these companies collect about our interests, preferences, and social connections. But perhaps the most insidious aspect of surveillance capitalism is its impact on our privacy and autonomy. In the digital age, our personal data is no longer ours alone. It's become a commodity to be bought, sold, and traded by companies seeking to profit from our online activities. And while we may consent to this data collection in exchange for access to free services, the true cost of surveillance capitalism is often hidden from view. Consider the case of data brokers, companies that specialize in buying and selling personal information for profit. These companies aggregate data from a wide range of sources, including social media profiles, online purchases, and public records, to create comprehensive profiles of individual consumers. These profiles are then sold to marketers, employers, and even government agencies, who use them to make decisions about everything from targeted advertising to job recruitment to law enforcement. But what happens when these profiles are used to discriminate against certain groups or individuals? What happens when our personal data is used against us rather than for us? These are questions that have yet to be fully answered, but they speak to the broader implications of surveillance capitalism for our society as a whole. As our lives become increasingly enmeshed in the digital realm, the need to protect our privacy and autonomy has never been greater. Fortunately, there are signs of hope on the horizon. From the rise of privacy-focused technologies like blockchain and encryption to the growing demand for data rights and protections, there's a growing movement to push back against the tide of surveillance capitalism. But to truly challenge the status quo, we need to confront the underlying power structures that enable digital exploitation to thrive. This means holding tech companies accountable for their actions, demanding greater transparency and accountability in their data practices, and empowering users to take control of their digital lives. It means reimagining the internet as a public utility rather than a corporate playground, where our data is treated with the respect and dignity it deserves. And it means recognizing that the fight against digital slavery is not just about protecting our own privacy and autonomy. It's about building a more just and equitable society for all. In the end, the choice is ours. We can continue to passively accept the erosion of our digital rights and freedoms, or we can stand up and demand change. We can choose to be slaves to the algorithmic overlords of surveillance capitalism, or we can reclaim our sovereignty and build a better, more humane internet for future generations. The choice is yours. What will you choose? In conclusion, the era of digital exploitation has ushered in a new age of slavery, where our data is bought, sold, and traded without our consent. But as awareness grows and movements for digital rights gain momentum, there is hope for a brighter future. By demanding accountability from tech giants, advocating for greater transparency, and empowering users to reclaim control over their digital lives, we can break free from the chains of surveillance capitalism and build a more just and equitable internet for all. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Please like, share, and subscribe.